Accu-Stats Video Productions presents from Louisville, Kentucky, the first annual Derby City Classic Extravaganza. Along with my friend Danny DiLiberto, I'm Bill Incardona here at the Executive West Hotel and Convention Center, where we are watching a semifinal match between Troy Frank from Columbus, Ohio, his opponent Jimmy Rempe from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Well, Troy, is another one that was a bar table expert. When I went to Ohio a few years ago, that's all they talked about. There was a bar table tournament, and he was the one to beat. But it turns out that these guys can make the transition to the big table and hold their own.
Well, at least Troy Frank can.
Yeah, well, I say these guys because David Matlack did it, and that Steve McKenish did it. So apparently a real top bar player has talent to switch.
Well, I wouldn't argue that. I couldn't argue that point. There are a lot of bar pool players that do play well on big tables.
Yeah.
But then again, there are a lot of bar table players that don't play well on big tables. Troy Frank is the exception to that.
Yeah.
On the adjacent table, in a match of equal importance, Efren Reyes is slated against Shannon Dalton. Now, there are 4 players left in the tournament. There are 2 semifinal matches being played simultaneously.
Well, I have to say that Shannon just broke it and make a ball, so he can't. No one over there could win the Corvette. And as soon as you don't make a ball on the break like this, he can't win the Corvette anymore, so the Corvette is safe until the final match, which will be between the winners.
Why? If Efren Reyes runs 9 balls there, why can't he win the Corvette?
It has to be from the opening lag, not from someone leaving you a shot. It wouldn't count if he would have ran out there, or if Shannon ran with 9 balls now. If he ran this and 6 more racks, he doesn't get the car. Has to be the person who wins the initial lag. Well, personally, these tables are tough enough that if someone should run 7 racks from the get-go and there's only one more chance for that, they ought to give him the car and a gas station.
Jim Rempe pocketing the 2, setting the cue ball a little out of line for the 3. This is a tough shot. I guess at times we'll go to the action on the other table where Efren and Shannon are playing. When we have time, we'll take you over there. Jim Rempe mispocketing the 3. And Troy Frank, a fellow who has actually been the recipient of 2 byes in the last 2 rounds, finally makes his first appearance in quite some time.
Sure, and he might be rested. Well, he's getting up to the table with a pretty nice shot to start with. Just has to draw straight back, I believe. And he did fine. He's got the right angle on the 4 to get to the 5.
And the balls are positioned so nicely over the table, Danny. Yeah. Troy Frank seems to be, if you will, blessed, sort of like, in that regard.
Things are rolling for him, we know, just from drawing 2 byes in the end of a tournament. He could have ran 7th, but here he is in the last 4. Now he has to just take advantage of it. Good shot. Good shot.
He just wants to get off the cushion slightly because the angle that he sees now is natural to come up the left side of the table for position for the 7 and the right side. 8 ball hanging in the left side pocket.
Well, he better make sure he shoots this hard enough, because if he don't, the 7 doesn't pass anywhere else. That's going to be perfect.
Yeah, that's a good point. He couldn't afford to come up short on the 7 and the side. The 9 blocks the pocket in the lower right-hand corner. But nevertheless, he was able to pocket the 6 playing position for the 7, and he's well on his way to capture this first game in a short race to 7. There are only 2 matches left, 2 semifinal matches, and then the finals. It's single elimination from this point out. All players in the tournament have used their option to buy back in, so therefore, this is sudden death. Reyes and Dalton in the feature match, Troy Frank and Jimmy Rempe.
Game 1, Troy Frank.
Well, that's the type of a rack that Troy wanted to step to the table and see, because the balls were positioned quite nicely for him. He didn't have to do anything special, and that way he got himself into a nice little rhythm. He did well in the first rack, and that's always a confidence builder.
Certainly is. It's nice to step up to an easy table, your first inning in a big match. Well, let's see how he breaks. I know on a bar table he breaks him pretty powerfully.
No, he hit him pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't pocket anything, but the 3 ball looks like came in between the pocket and the 1 ball, not allowing the 1 ball to pass by into the pocket.
This is kind of a tricky rack. Look where the 4 and 9 are, the 1 and 3, the 6 and 7. A man would have to play some awful fine pool to run out. Of course, Jimmy may not even shoot here.
He's probably going to bank the 1 backup table, setting the cue ball possibly in back of the 5 and the 8, utilizing those 2 balls as possible blockers.
Yeah, that looks like the play. Efren won the first game over there, and Jimmy didn't execute.
No, he mishit the 1 ball, really overcutting it, sending it into the 8, and giving Troy Frank another good opportunity at the table. All the balls seem to be positioned fairly decent, with the exception of the 4, 9 blocking the pocket, and the 6, 7.
That's all.
And the 8's not in a very good spot.
Other than that, it's
an easy rack, right? Well, that didn't go over too good, did it?
Well, no. We liked it.
Yeah. So therefore, he's really got his work cut out for him here.
Especially, he may not have got there.
He got
there. He's looking at the bank. Not a bad idea. Pretty good control. He got decent.
Looks like he may have to cut it slightly, hitting it softly, lengthening out the bank cross side.
Right, you don't want too much cut on this because you're getting further away from the 5 ball. But I think he'll be close enough to figure out what he has to do with the 6. If he makes this is not a gimme. Yeah, he's not liking it too much. You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go 3 rails behind the 6 and 7. Well, he's uncertain. He don't know if he wants to shoot it or play safe. If there's a doubt, play safe. You know, if you're not going to get rewarded for making the ball, then play safe.
It seems like the bank's a little off angle, and he's going to have to cut it a little bit. And in doing so, he's going to lose control of the cue ball. He's not going to come up with a real good shot. So therefore, he opted to play the 9. He played the 9 on that shot, and he opened up the 6 from the 7, and he scratched. So therefore, he really got the minimum out of that effort.
Yeah, it's total disaster. He made it easy, and he gave his opponent ball in hand. Yeah, he figures to get out here. He's going 2 rails to the 5 and the side.
Yeah, he would like to end up straight in on the 5 and the side. Then all he'll need to do is stop the ball for the 6. 1-2 cushions, like Danny says, for the position for the 5 and the side.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It looks like he can.
Yeah, draw it and
slow
even get closer.
Well, he's a little off angle there. He would like to just stop the ball, but he's going to have to do something. He'll probably play the 7 in the side with a little angle.
Little angle, go 1 rail to this 8 ball.
I don't know if he's going to like this too much. It looks like it's fairly flat, but he does have a little angle. And shooting into that small 4-inch pocket from the angle that he's offered is not going to be an easy thing to do. If he happens to brush the rail on the way down, I don't think the pocket's going to accept the shot. Because of the speed he's going to have to hit it with. He wants to play the 7 in the side, but the 9 precludes him from doing that because the cue ball will then go into the 9.
It's coming close. I'm not sure it's going into the 9, but it's close. So he's doing something else. Is he going to try to draw this ball 1 rail? That's what it looks like. That's what he did.
And in that particular shot, had to be hit very accurately, which we saw him do. But still in trouble.
Well, he's got the dice yet, but he certainly didn't get easy. He's trying to see if the 8 will pass underneath the 9. And that's where he's shooting it. Must pass because he's going this way.
But not much room for error here.
Yeah, he better not brush the 9 or he'll leave a tough shot on the 9.
He brushed it. And rack number 2 appears that Troy Fike may be able to get rack number 2 also.
Yeah, a little disappointment there. He's supposed to get out once he had ball in hand on the 4 with all the balls in the open. He's going to wish he had that shot back for sure.
Shannon Dalton ties up Efren Reyes in their match 1 game apiece.
Well, Troy right now must be feeling he can win this. 2 times to the table, 2 easy layouts. Short race, 2-0. It's a big lead.
Dalton scratching on the break, something that you really can't do playing Reyes.
Well, he glanced off the head ball. He didn't hit the head ball solid. You have to hit that head ball solid or the cue ball can fly anywhere.
Another noteworthy point. In the match between Reyes and Dalton, Reyes has the all-around points pretty much wrapped up with the exception of one player, Shannon Dalton. Shannon Dalton, if he wins this tournament, I think can overcome Reyes' lead and actually win the all-around championship. So there's an extra incentive out there for both of those players, particularly for Dalton.
Yeah. And unlike the other match when we said it didn't matter, now it does because this is pack your bags. Well, Troy can cut this in, miss the 4, and have a nice shot on the 2 on the side.
And he's hit it with good speed.
Perfect.
Maybe
Not exactly
a little
perfect,
hard, but this guy, it's okay. A little harder than the...
he's going to have to go into the 9, push the 9 a little bit away, and he should still be okay on the 3.
This is the type of a shot that you can't allow the 9 to break your concentration. Figure out what you're going to do before shooting. You know you're going to go into the 9, so stroke it. And don't even think about the 9.
Right.
Just think about the stroke that you need to use.
And make that 2 above all. Don't end with a miss. He should glance off and have the 3 in that left-hand corner pocket.
That's exactly what he's done. He just stroked the ball, and he's got a shot on the 3. And it's a very makeable shot, but not the kind of a shot that he wanted to end up with, but very makeable.
Also, he tied up the 6-9 a little bit. You know, unless you get real perfect, it's not an easy combination.
Interesting development here, and we'll find out exactly how he plans to attack it. Reyes is preparing to shoot into the 9 ball in game number 3. They're going to take a 2-1 advantage in his match against Dalton. Troy at the table. Shooting the 3. It might be a little too hard, Danny.
Or too easy.
It looks like he's landed on the 50-yard line,
Yeah.
but I think he's got to bank it cross side. And you bank this with the center ball. You don't draw it. You're going to lose your angle on the 5 if you draw it. Center ball sends you down by the first diamond and then go up toward the 5 in that fashion. He's looking to cut it in the side. That's a small side pocket.
Well, he's close enough to shoot it soft, so that helps the angle. And he's going 3 rails right to the 5 on the other side of it. But now he has something to do if he doesn't stay straight.
Okay, now I don't believe the 6 will go into the upper right-hand corner. And if that's a fact, if it will not go, he's going to probably have to pocket the 5 and play some sort of a safety off the 6.
Unless he can draw it right into the 9.
I don't think he has the angle to do
Yeah,
that.
I think he can.
No, he doesn't. Definitely doesn't have the angle to do that.
He can't?
Oh my! He could. I didn't think he had the angle to do that.
He was sitting good. Well, not good. He made a great shot. You know.
I thought that the angle that he had to draw to the side rail.
Well, if you shoot it harder, you do. But he got it to draw on contact. So any harder, and it would have glanced more. But he controlled it perfectly, and he got real good here. Just make the 7, and you're automatically to the 9. And you get up 3-zip on a veteran player.
And Troy Frank doesn't have the household name of a Jim Rempe, Shannon Dalton, or for sure, different Reyes. But he certainly is nonetheless effective, at least not at this point.
$3-0, and Jimmy Rempe's twitching over there.
Well, I don't blame him, because going into the match, I would think Jimmy would be thinking to himself, well, you know, I feel that I'm a fairly big favorite over Troy Frank. He's never played in a major event that I've played in, and he certainly has never won a major event. This is the first time he's probably been in the semifinals. I myself I'm a veteran. I got a lot of experience, and I just play better. So therefore, I should feel fortunate that I drew Troy Frank in the semifinal match, opposed to a Dalton or particularly a Reyes.
Right.
Now it's 3-0. Now how's he thinking?
He made the 8. I think he's going to have position. Oh, God. What do you do here? Do you play position for the 2 or for the 2-9?
A lot of traffic on the right side of the table.
I know it. He may have to go 2 rails and try to get perfect on the 2-9, right?
Well,
he'd have to stroke this.
This shot can be played in a couple different ways. He can hit it with the center, a little below center ball, and go toward the 2. Or he can come back where the stick is with a little bit of a draw, but not much, and play a position for the 2-9.
He's looking at the 2-9 for sure, and he's hitting a full ball. He's going to have to shoot hard to get that cue ball to go anywhere.
Well, he's probably got 2 cushions. Now, wait a minute, it's no good. He might end up frozen.
Take a look at it. Take a look at it. How do you think it is?
He certainly had the right speed of the ball. Had he not gotten behind a 3, he would have liked it. But that
I would have
wasn't
gone
the case.
forward. Don't gamble on. But that's why I'm up here eliminated. He could have gone forward, and therefore he never would have been snookered. The whole path of the cue ball. That's unlucky to hit the 3 and stick on it. But that's it. blew a big opportunity to go ahead 4-0, maybe.
You know, now that I look at the shot, Danny, in the fashion that he played it, 2 cushions toward
Well, see what I mean by maybe?
Right.
Yeah. He still had the dice, so you can't feel good yet until the guy misses. Now look at this. He made it. He's got position to go 1 rail or 2 rails to the 4 and the side, the 5. It's amazing. It might be his time. Freaky things are happening.
Jimmy Rempe very sedately sitting in his chair.
Yeah, he doesn't like this at all.
Watch the 6. Well, it's not going to slide underneath it.
He might be over it. No, he's fine. He's fine. Get as straight as you can now on the 5, right?
That's right. Just get as straight as you can and just draw straight back up table for the 6. Jimmy Rempe, much unlike a lot of players, after falling behind 3-4-0, still has that good concentration and composure that you need to have to surmount this type of a lead, because he's a kind of a player that knows how to win from behind.
Oh, and he's hungry. You know, he's hungry. You know, he always wants to win. He says it's all. He told me earlier, this is all about money. That's all. No more proving anything. No more anything but the money. Oh, he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Unless the only thing that can go wrong here is if the guy makes both balls on this shot and doesn't get to the 9. You know?
Is it possible for him not to pocket a ball here?
Well, it might pinch because it's small pockets, but I think he has a better chance of making them both. Well, he hit it perfectly.
He's going to have to reach here, and in reaching, he's going to lose a little bit of accuracy here. So
I'd hit rail first. Hit rail first and go 1, 2, 3, 4 rails, and it's sitting perfect.
But hitting rail first, you have to make sure you don't hit the 6 ball thickly.
No, you got to hit the 6 thin, and then it's automatic. But, you know, there's many ways you can do it. I just like that way. I think that's the best percentage if you shoot it 100 times. He's going to try to go like 1 rail off the 6, and he's got to avoid pockets. This isn't going to be real good. No, I would have hit rail first. He would have been assured of it. He's close enough to cut it thin, but, you know, when you have control of the game, you're supposed to get a better shot on the 9 than this, right?
Well, if I would have shot the ball hitting ball first, I would have hit it thinly coming down the left side of the table.
Right.
That's the angle that I liked.
Right.
Notice he used that extension when he shot the 6.
Well, he figures to make this. He's close enough. He can cut the paint off this one. 4-0.
4-0, and it's starting to slip away. Not that Rempe had anything to do about it, but it's starting to slip away. And the urgency to respond to the challenge most certainly is on Rempe's shoulders here. If he ever gets a shot, that is. Dalton trailing Reyes, I believe, 2-1 or 3-1. I'm not sure what the score is there. But he's at the table, and it looks like he's got a fairly easy out.
Well, as of right now, Troy Frank, for the first time in a situation like this, is holding up real well. I mean, if he gets through this match, will the jitters maybe get him in the final match? Well, he didn't make a ball. The 5 is hanging in the pocket deeply, and you don't want to give up this 1 because the 2-9 looks like a pretty good combination.
Well, if you were Rempe, Danny, would you go ahead and try to cut the 1 into the 5 here? You know, it's not an easy shot, but what can you do with the 1? You know, what else can you do?
There's not a safe. I think you just cut it at the 5, and if you happen to make them both, keep that cue ball out in the middle of the table somewhere.
Dalton scratching in the corner pocket.
Although he does have a safe. You know, he can bank the 1 ball perpendicular right to this end rail where he's standing and fall down that way, and he might get him on the 6 or the 8. But at 4-0, I think you are more inclined to want to shoot, aren't you? And try to get on the scoreboard and mount something.
Well, I think that that strategy is a bit overrated.
Yeah.
See, playing 9 ball, you play each game to win. You should not alter your strategy playing 9 ball. Play the percentages.
You have a good point there.
You know, playing a game that you have to reach a certain, you know, like When there's a clock involved, like football, when the clock's running out on you, then you have to go and do something outrageous or force something. But playing 9-ball, you don't get 2 games for winning one. You only get 1 game, regardless of how you win it.
Well, sometimes you just want to get anxious and get on the scoreboard, and that's what he did there. And it sort of flopped. So if Troy can fall on this combination real well, he can go ahead 5-0, and Jimmy be really in deep. I don't think he can fall on that end rail, the side rail where the 4 is, and have a good billiard. He may, but he would have to miss the side and the 4.
His only real accessible route would be to go 2
that's
cushions.
The route. Look at this.
Yeah, but
with
go
perfect control.
I thought so. He should have gone down table farther, playing the combination.
Oh, no, you want him to go between the 2 and 6. No, he didn't want to snooker himself, and he's feeling pretty
good.
No,
I'm not talking about going between the 2 and 6. I'm talking about same angle, but coming down table further, going to the side cushion near there, and that makes the combination play much easier.
Yeah. Well, I expect him to make this. Just don't scratch off the 3 ball in the right-hand corner.
He's going to have to cut the 2 very thinly. Very thinly.
Don't scratch off the 3. Good shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's holding up quite well.
Oh, yeah.
After game number 5, Jim Rempe is on a blitz, trailing 5-0.
Yeah. It's a tough defeat. If a newcomer beats you 7-0 in semifinals, it's a tough defeat.
But one that's not going to bother Rempe that much, because Troy Frank, on the other hand, is playing about as well as you could play.
Plus, finishing 3rd in this field isn't too bad anyway. He doesn't have to feel ashamed, that's for sure. Matches go this way. Kid made a ball again, and it looks like he's going to have a little shot. I don't know if the 1 goes... No, don't go by the 7, but he could shoot it in the side pocket and try to get all the way past the 3 maybe for a 3-ball combination.
But if he shoots it in the side, doesn't the angle suggest that he's going to come close to the scratch in the lower corner?
It's possible, but I think it might be a little thinner hit than you can imagine. But meanwhile, he's nothing certain because he's not getting up shooting. He doesn't really have a good save.
Now we'll take a look and see what type of angle he actually does.
I think it's a little thinner than you think. Well, he overcut at any rate.
But
that would have done the job, but he left Jimmy end rail. You're losing 5-0. The 2 is covered up by the 8. You got a tough shot on the 1. This is not ideal to get something going. You got to start feeling like things are against you right now. Over there, Efren's on a roll. I think he's got 5 now. 5-1 Efren over Shannon Dalton. Nothing against Troy Frank, but if you're playing in the other table to see who you're going to get in the finals, of the people left playing Troy Frank in the finals, he's got to feel pretty good. Fireball? Nope, it hung up. Well, Shannon has to do or die now. He better get something going over there. Efren just broke and didn't make a ball on the break, and he's ahead 5-1. And it's a pretty good layout. Could he hit enough of the 2 to make the 5?
Yeah, I think he can make the 5 on a billiard, but that really is difficult because you got to control the 2 ball.
I'm not even talking about the billiard. I'm talking about the combination 2, 4, 5. He can't do that.
No, I don't believe he can.
He can't.
I don't believe he can. He's trying to line it up, but I don't know. I don't think that he can.
You're right.
Can do that.
Yeah, the billiard's no good because I think the 2 is going to get out of range.
And then you have to worry about scratching also with the billiard.
Yeah, like I said, it's just not an ideal spot to start. Well, Shannon just made the 2 and snookered himself.
You know, he could possibly make the billiard and try to reposition the 2 through the 4 and the 8, in between the 4 and the 8 softly, hitting the thickness of the 2, trying to follow through in that fashion. That way he can roll it, and if he can thread the needle.
It's possible to have good speed here and have the 2 in that side pocket next,
Right.
billiarding the 5, but it's also so tough, especially when you're in a hole like this.
Well, what are the options that he has? What kind of option does he really have?
He can play somewhat of a safe by shooting the 2 straight on past the 4 and try to snooker maybe behind the 8. But he's going to play a billiard. If he does that, he's going to hit it hard. I could see it coming.
Hitting it hard is difficult because you're going to glance off the 2. You might get behind the 5.
You might not even make the 5, right?
Yeah, he might get behind the 5 if he hits it
let's
hard.
see.
I think he's got to hit it softly and go through it. See, he hit it hard.
Yeah,
he went
he
behind the 5.
Right.
And he should have anticipated that type of reaction prior to shooting that shot and thought a little more about shooting that shot in that fashion.
Well, you know what Troy has right here? He has a shot in the 2, billiard on the 9, and position. The 9 will help position to the 3. So he's looking at it, too.
Unless he tries to dig down under the cue ball, then he'll hit too far on top of the 9. But still, that'll be position also.
Efren just went ahead 6-1 over there.
Yeah, I think that if Troy shoots his shot with a little bit of authority, he'll have good action on the 9, and he'll probably end up with good position for the 3.
Well, he's not even thinking about the 9 right now. He wants to make this 2 and fall into the 3. That's just as good. And he almost made the 9.
That's what Danny was talking about.
Right.
Caroming off of the 9 to the end cushion and then toward the 3 in that direction.
Well, Efren's on the hill over there and made a ball in the break, but he has the tough shot on the 1. Troy here, this is the last real ball to make. The 8 doesn't go by the 9, but it's the 9 sitting for a pretty easy combination. Just don't miss now, and you'll love it. He's hitting the balls with authority, too. There's no dogging, he is hitting solid. He probably talked to himself and said, Troy, you're in a spot that, you're lucky to be in, so don't even worry about it. Free wheel.
Yeah, but the trick is to answer yourself and say, yeah, I'll do that.
Well, he's already done that.
Yeah.
I know he told himself he can do it. Oh, boy. His last legs, Shannon just kicked the 1 in, rail first.
And it looks like he's hooked himself on it, too.
Is. Yeah, he wants to get close. Troy Frank did get close here. Now, I think he's got you play the combination, or would you rather just get a good bank on the 8?
He may have a half of a pocket to shoot into here.
Oh, with the 8? Yeah. We'll see. But meanwhile,
from that angle, it's going to be awfully tough, though.
He got just as good as you could on the combination.
Let me take a look to see if the 9's in the big ball position. In the big ball position is a position where the 9 would be laying about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch off that cushion.
Right.
That
way,
way,
have a big target.
Yeah, you have a bigger target, like Danny says, to pocket the 9.
Might even make the 8 cross corner.
I don't know if he'll hit it that hard.
See where the 8's going? That's a 1 pocket shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, Troy Frank is on the hill at 6-0. Jim Rempe has had little to say about this, by the way. It's been all Troy Frank.
Yeah, Jimmy really didn't get any chance to get going. I mean, the ball sat funny when he got up. Tough shots. Everything rolling good for the youngster. How old would you say this kid is, Troy Frank? I mean,
he looks pretty young to me.
He don't look over 25, does he?
That's about what I'd say, about 25 years old, if that. Good-looking guy, too, from the Columbus area.
Yeah, great future in this game.
A lot of future in the game, and with the women, too, huh?
Well, Well, let's hope for his sake that it isn't that way. Well, Shannon has not given up. He's going to have a chance to make a pretty good run out here and get to 2. And if he, at the table, you never know. That explosive break, you know. I'm just trying to sound like Frank Gifford when one team's losing 35-3, and he's trying to make it interesting and don't turn the channel.
Tell you, this guy is pocketing.
Oh, what did he do wrong?
Very
it looks
accurately.
like a perfect match. I don't see him doing anything wrong.
And if we had someone charting this match for Accu-Stats, he'd be shooting in the high 900s.
No doubt about it. I don't see anything going to stop him here. I mean, you know, he's if he gets straight in on the 4, he'll have a perfect angle to stop and have the perfect angle on the 5. Look at this. Couldn't put it with your fingers any better. Look at this. Stop. You got the perfect angle. Even come back a hair, but he could stop right there. And I think it's Jimmy Rempe is history in the Derby City Classic. Perfect.
He's really handling that cue ball nicely also. Realizing that if he draws it back 3 or so inches, the angle on the 5 is a much better angle to drop nicely for the 6. He would like to come halfway across the table. No more than that, though.
Ephraim played a patented 5 rail safe with perfect speed.
Yeah, Troy Frank, all he needs to do is make sure that he doesn't lose that strong concentration that he's been playing with.
Shannon just made the 6 on a long rail bank. That's a great shot with Ephraim on the hill. It's a great shot if it were the beginning of the match. Oh, I don't see anything wrong here.
Well, he got a little bit flat on this ball. I mean, he's going to have to punch it in and go cross table. He can't afford to go with a high ball here. I think he'll end up too close to the 9.
You're right. Just center ball and stroke it a little bit. Don't get...
So the pocket will play a little smaller now because he has to stroke it a little bit to see how well he does with it. Cleanly, once again.
Didn't bother him an iota.
Not one iota is right.
You're going to see some whooping it up here. You're going to see fists and pointing and everything here. See it? Fists. He did a great job. Great job.
I don't
He's
know.
in the finals.
I mean,
He's sitting down. He wants to grin. I mean, look at his face. He is glowing. He is so happy. He's in the finals.
I'll tell you what, that's a special type of performance from a relatively young player with very little experience to just jump up there and play one of the premier players in the world on the Accu-Stat table and perform as well as he did was something that you really have to be impressed with, don't you think?
Yeah, and, you know, he beat Dennis Hatch, and Dennis Hatch, who's my close friend, came over to me and he says, the kid beat me. Boy, he got lucky, that kid. What's he going to do and all that. Now, if the kid wins the tournament, Dennis won't feel half as bad. It always feels better when the guy who beats you wins the tournament.
Well, you know, I mean, if he continues to play that brand of 9-ball, I don't care who he's playing against. It doesn't much matter, does it?
He could roll the same way next match and win it all.
Well, I don't think it had much to do with the way the balls were rolling. It's how he performed that really counted because he took advantage of every opportunity that he was presented with, and he just played superbly.
Great match.
We're here with Troy Frank, young, relatively inexperienced, but nonetheless effective, at least not this week. Troy Frank, in the semifinal match against Jim Rempe, you played about as flawlessly as one could play, and congratulations in your match, winning your match against Jim Rempe, and you really played well in that match. I mean, what do you attribute it to, really?
Mostly, I guess, would be like all the play throughout the whole week, playing in the banks in the one pocket, getting used to the tables and a certain stroke for the tables. And then once I got a stroke I was comfortable with, I felt real comfortable the rest of the tournament.
And we talked a little bit before the interview, and he informed me that he played in a major in, I think it was around the Boston area, Chelmsford, Massachusetts? Chelmsford, Mass. And he played Jim Rempe in that tournament also, and also defeated Jim Rempe in that tournament. So therefore, you really weren't too intimidated with Rempe going into the match today, were you?
No, I felt pretty comfortable for the fact that I did play him before. Had I played Efren or something, I never played Efren really. I would have probably been a little more nervous, or who knows.
Well, who knows? That remains to be seen. But you're going to have an opportunity to prove your worth going into that match with Efren Reyes. But I think that you've proved your worth already, because beating Jim Rempe, what was the score of that match? 7-0? 7-0. You blitzed one of the greatest players of all time, Jim Rempe. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's something you can really be proud of.
Yeah, I got a few chances. I'm real proud of that.
Well, you did get a few chances, but what was so impressive is that the chances that you did get, you took full advantage of every one of them, and you run out each and every one of those racks just about textbook style.
Yeah, I knew if I didn't get out, I might be in trouble. Who knows what Jim might do? He might run 7 on me, So you got to do what you got to do,
Well, a lot of players go to the table and they're intimidated somewhat, and they're kind of scared because of it. They're scared to miss, but not many of them protect that and defend that with a near-perfect performance. I understand when I go to the table against an Efren Reyes or Jim Rempe, I'm scared too. But for some reason, I miss.
Well, shoot, I got in the final, so I'm feeling good about that, Got a little confidence builder. And, I don't know. I just felt pretty comfortable up there, yeah.
Okay, we don't want to keep you here too long because you got to play a match against Efren Reyes, and that's probably one of the most important matches you're going to play in your young career so far in the finals of this prestigious event. So therefore, I don't want to keep you up here too much longer, so we're going to say congratulations once again in defeating Jim Rempe, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot for supporting Accu-Stats. Give Pat a call, 1-800-828-0397, and we'll be back in just a moment with the finals.